Hi, since many of you found the two farm law explainers useful, I'm popping in to explain the third law that deals with stocking of essential commodities. But before that, it's day 7 of the protests. Remember yesterday, 36 farmers' unions held talks with the Agricultural Minister and Railways Minister, who by the way also holds the PDS portfolio. They rejected the suggestion of a committee, saying the time for a committee is long over. They also said we're still waiting on the Swaminathan committee's suggestions to be implemented, so no thank you for that offer. Now talks start tomorrow again, and the farmers groups could come with a clause-by-clause objections as asked for by the Agricultural Minister. On the ground, which means Delhi's borders, things are blocked. Both sides are holding to their positions. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's statement at Varanasi yesterday, where he promised that the laws will increase farmers' incomes and suggested that they were being misled, is a good indication. Purely from a negotiation point of view, the farmers do have time on their side. In Punjab and Haryana, harvesting of the Kharif paddy is complete. Preparation is also over in large parts for the Rabi season. What this means? They have time and staying power to continue this agitation. In Uttar Pradesh, though, the sugarcane farmers who are allies in this cause are busy with the crushing season. Now, before I can glean out for you what could be negotiated, and that's a big if, let's go through that third and final law. It's not really a deal breaker. It's called the Essential Commodities Amendment Act 2020, which we'll call the Hoarding Law or the Essential Commodities Law. It's not a new law, it's an amendment to an existing law. Now, remember in March this year when the government declared hand sanitizers and masks as essential commodities and capped their selling price, and later as things eased out, removed them from the list? That was the law that gave the government the power to declare anything as an essential commodity and thereby regulate its price, its production, supply, and really set limits on how much of that thing one person or company can stock. The law actually has its roots in a time of scarcity before the Green Revolution, when people would hoard items and reduce the supply in the market. This actually raised the price of the item artificially, and that's when they would sell and make a profit. To prevent this hoarding and price manipulation, the government has a running list of essential commodities which it either keeps adding to or removing from. So think of petroleum, food grains, medicines. These are all essential, as the name suggests. Now, what does the new amendment do? Well, the new amendment removes cereals, pulses, oilseeds, edible oils, onions and potatoes from that list. They are no longer essential according to the new law. So the government is not going to intervene unless there are extraordinary situations or calamities. The government is arguing that we basically no longer live in a time of scarcity, and these stock limits do end up deterring private players when it comes to investments in storage facilities and processing plants. Why does that happen? Well, private players usually stay away from essential commodities because remember, the government can impose a stock limit at any point in time, throwing them into a loss. The farmer could benefit, the government says, also benefits from this law, because now if the price of onion goes up by even 80%, the government can't cap, and so the farmer earns more. Who loses out? Well, the consumers. But remember, the government came to the rescue of the consumer every time onion prices went up by importing. That was at the cost of the farmer. So, net, the farmer's larger anxiety is stemming from the APMC Bypass Law, and when the three laws are read together, as also on this government's direction for Indian agriculture. When they sit down at that negotiating table and possibly listen, it may become clear that the problem is essentially about the APMC law and the weakening of the mandis. There is also a disquiet about dispute resolutions outside the APMC structure. In a response to a question, a farmer group said, "Do you really expect a district collector to be an independent court and get us our payment when things go wrong?" That's something to think about. The big one, the elephant in the room, is certainly the MSP demand and making it a legal right. The government has indicated it's a non-starter. Remember, we covered a good part of it in the first video. Do have a look at it if you haven't. We'll end here. I'm Anubha Bhonsle. This is Newsworthy. Drop us a line in the comments below and tell us how we are doing. I'll leave it here. I'll see you again soon.